Is the stereotype of BMWs being unreliable finally changing? I want to make this video talking about really just that. Whether I think, having owned 3 BMWs now for the grand total of, how long have I had them? Like 5-6 years now? They've all been fairly reliable. So welcome guys to Driveway Journey. I'm Bert and I'm all about us moving from our first keys to our dream driveways. So let's go through the list of cars that I have owned. I had a 2017 BMW M240i. Ooh, how long did I have that one? I had that one for over 2.5 years. And that car had 0 issues. Not one, not a single issue. It was a automatic. It had the ZF8 transmission, which is a phenomenal transmission. If you're looking at getting one, you won't go wrong with it. So I traded in that M240i then for a BMW M2, my first BMW M2, which was a 2016 with a dual clutch transmission. And that car was also incredibly reliable in that I've had 0 issues with it. Caveat here, I owned that car for about a month before it got totaled. So I didn't have it all that long for it to develop issues, but during the time I did have it, no issues. And if you look at like the Carfax for that car and all the records that I had for that car was routinely maintained as it should have been. And there was nothing out of the ordinary in that car's records that would tell me that it wasn't reliable. How many miles did it have? I want to say it had 65,000 miles on it. So it was a higher mileage example. And again, no issues. That's 2 cars now with 0 issues, which brings me to my third BMW, which is this one, which I've now had also for over 2 years. My current BMW M2. Now I did have a weird battery issue in this car, which wasn't even an issue. When they did the PPI for this car, one of the things that after the fact they ended up replacing for me before I got the car was the battery. So when they replaced the battery, now mind you, this is at a BMW dealership, they didn't tighten the cable down all the way. And the way the cable is, there's a tiny red cable that leads to the IBS sensor, which is the battery management system that goes on that same terminal. And you can tighten the battery so that the main terminal is nice and tight, but you have to keep tightening it so that the little cable is also nice and tight and properly attached. And they didn't do that part. So it was like intermittently telling me that I had no charge in my battery. And it was the most annoying thing. I dealt with it for a couple months and then finally I looked and I'm like, this cable's loose. So I tightened it and it just went away. I'm not even gonna count that because that's just the dealership not doing their job properly and tightening my stupid battery cable. So that does not count. Genuine issues I've had with this car in terms of reliability, the rear tail lights burned out on me because in the 2016 model, specifically of the BMW M2, there is an issue where when they designed the light, they didn't design it to handle all the voltage and power that the battery put out. So the ground wire was known to burn out and fail and like completely melt, and the entire light cluster just failed. And the fix is not all that difficult, but it does involve taking the lights out and you have this whole back panel with all the wiring on it. You have to replace that to an upgraded one from the 2017, and there's an extra bit of cable with an additional ground wire that you have to also replace. So I had to do that because that happened to both of my lights. So that wasn't ideal. So that was total maybe like $300 worth of work. So that is a negative point. The caveat is it's a well-known problem. It's well documented. It's a common enough problem that if you have a 2016, there's a good chance either you will experience it or the person who had the M2 before you already experienced it and fixed it. That is something reliability-wise that goes against the BMW. The coolant cap on the reservoir cracked, which is a known issue on just about every single BMW. Either the cap cracks or the entire reservoir caps. So that is a negative point for reliability. Again, it's a well-documented, well-known issue, and it's not very expensive to fix and replace. So there are some known issues on this car, as there are with every BMW. as there are with every car on the road. Really, BMWs are not that unreliable. There was a period of time where they were so bad that, like, if you bought a BMW, you were an imbecile because you were going to spend so much money on maintenance, so much on repairs, and it really was true that they were so unreliable. Now, I don't believe that's the case. I think the newer cars, like 2014, 2015, that's when they started to release the F-chassis cars. Everything from that point onwards has been pretty good. They don't have many issues, and the ones they do have are well documented. If it's well documented, shops have worked on it before, they know what they're doing, they can charge cheaper rates because they can bang those jobs out nice and quick. So that's a big, big plus. And what I think it is too is I think we're spending more on actually properly maintaining our cars. If you maintain these modern BMWs, they don't break all that often. The issue that happens is people don't maintain their BMWs. And historically, they've been very expensive to maintain. Now I think they've gotten a little cheaper. It's a twofold thing because, for one, back in the day, people didn't maintain their BMWs all that well because they were very expensive to repair. So people let problems go, they let them get worse, and then things broke and they just compounded and they got the terrible reputation of being unreliable. Nowadays, BMWs have gotten more reliable. So when issues do come up, they're a lot more uncommon, so people are more willing to actually repair them because it's not like, this is broken out, it's okay, the next thing will break, I'll just ride this car into the ground, sell it, whatever. People are more likely to actually repair them now because they're not as expensive as they used to be. They're more reliable in general, so when they do break, you're more likely to actually fix it because you're not fixing them every other week. You're fixing them maybe once a year because you have something little that breaks here, something little that breaks there, so you'll actually fix it. So I think it's a twofold thing, which is phenomenal because I think it's turning the reputation around that BMW has had for the years. And I read an article not too long ago. I wish I remember who the article was by, but it was talking about reliability and what the most unreliable cars are. BMW was not listed as one of the more unreliable cars. BMW was just kind of in the middle of the pack with a lot of just normal brands that we deal with every day. I also saw a post on Facebook around the same time talking about reliability, and it was basically something along the lines of, and it's like when you hear car unreliability, what's the first brand that comes to mind? So I'm like, all right, let's go to the comment section. I go to the comment section, and it took me a long time to actually find BMW. Flip 15 years ago, the first thing would have been BMW, 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 and it's just not the case anymore. So I think if you're looking at buying a BMW, I think if you buy a car that is well serviced, that's relatively modern, I think as a whole, you'll be okay. I wouldn't be too stressed. If you buy a sketchy one from someone that only wants cash, that wants it off the record, that's got all tinted windows, that's got all kinds of mods on it, you're gonna have a bad time. If you buy one that's well serviced, good records, you'll be okay. So let me know what you guys think, because from my perspective, it does genuinely seem like BMW is shedding finally its stigma of unreliability. People are now coming to appreciate them as fairly reliable cars. Even though I have had some issues with this car, as a whole, at no point could I not drive this car. At no point did my repair bills on any of my cars exceed like $1,000 total. Let me know your thoughts, especially as some of you guys own BMWs out there. Let me hear your opinion. I'd love to hear it. But that is going to be all for this one, guys. Leave it a like if you like this video. Subscribe if you want more videos from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time.